2006, Crossroads was introduced to Alice Achan and Christian Counseling Fellowship in Uganda. Alice's ministry began with the rescue of young girls and women who'd been abducted by the rebel group known as the Lord's Resistance Army. Many of them would end up pregnant and abandoned. Many of you have partnered with us in coming alongside a rescue ministry that continually expands to reach the most vulnerable and to bring hope in practical ways. It's a privilege to seize this woman for these next few minutes and get an update, because there's always something new happening in Uganda where you are, Alice. It's been an exhausting spring, to be honest.
Yeah.
You're here for a bit of a rest.
I'm here for a bit of rest, and I'm happy to be in the studio, even if I'm on the rest, to just say thank you to our supporters, and especially to Crossroads for getting into the vision that God has put in my heart to see it move together.
You know, I was at a funeral recently where one of the women giving tribute to her mother said, when I'd go to Mom and I was lonely and just feeling disconnected and downhearted, Mom would always say, get involved in the lives of others. I just want to celebrate that you are a satisfied single in your 30s with handfuls of purpose. And despite the fact that you're tired from a lot of good things that we're going to talk about, you are living the abundant life in Christ.
I think the most important thing is I know that living a single life is for a great purpose. And for the great purpose to fulfill in living a single life is giving your life for other people, especially fellow women who are single and they have additional responsibility of being a single mother. I think they have more responsibility and burden.
The burden is greater
than just any other single woman, because you are with a child and you have to provide everything for your child. And I think that's the best way that I've chose to live my single life, to give my life to a single mom and help them cope with the life of mothering and parenting.
Today, 400 girls and babies, 400. You've doubled the numbers in just the last 2 years in the women you've been able to help and bring life skills and education. Padare Girls Academy just celebrated 5 years. That's one of the anniversaries you've just celebrated this spring.
Yes.
And it all began, I love this picture. This is a framer, folks, because many wonderful ministries in Africa have started under a tree. Is this the tree, Alice?
Yeah, this is the tree that God provided, and it's this where we started our ministry with the young girls. This tree is very important because it served as office, it served as a delivery room for many young girls, and it served as office to provide these girls counseling. And this tree was just in the middle of the IDP camps, and
internally displaced
person camps, and was just provided for us to do the ministry. And this is where we've started, you know, from the nowhere to where the Lord has put us today, to see over 400 girls benefiting from the programs from the Ministry of Counseling, Education, and Psychosocial support that we offer to them. Yeah.
It was a baobab tree, wasn't it?
That's under that very tree.
Classic.
The classic tree.
You talk about psychosocial and the importance of counseling. I don't think many of us could begin to imagine what those girls have been through. The terror, the abuse, the sexual abuse, the physical abuse, and then the complete abandonment, rejection by families in many cases because of their experience, and then being pregnant. And it's really the restoration of a life, one at a time.
I think the most important thing that we have to know is that these girls, when we talk about being a single girl or be a child mother, it's not just in an ordinary way. We are talking of girls of 12 years who was children who were taken by the armed forces, rebels, and they are grabbed from their parents, and they were forced to walk for miles and miles into Sudan, which is like over 1,000 miles from Uganda. And additional to that, they are made to be wives. They were sexually abused. They were made sex slaves. And out of that, they gotten these children. And this is a very terrific life things in the lives of a child. without any support, and they have been living in this kind of condition. They talk for 2 years under continuous sexual abuse and harassment from their captured, and they gave birth in a condition that is unbearable. They gave birth at the age of maybe 13 or 14 in the wilderness, in the bush, without any medical care, without any attention, without support from somebody that you trust, but in the hand of this brutal man who has guns and anytime can kill your life. So what these girls has gone through is beyond imagination. And therefore, having a comprehensive support in their lives is very important. We combine our psychosocial counseling with the Christian counseling. Why? It is very important because it's very important for these children to know that in all that what we do, God can restore. God can give them a new hope.
The Heavenly Father can be trusted.
Exactly.
Trust is restored. Let's go to some of the pictures and try to catch up on what's kept you so busy, particularly this spring. This is a graduation and a dedication?
Yeah.
Tell us.
This was a big day because it was the day that the school was born 5 years ago when Pade Girls Academy was established, and we had all these important men of God. The man in the middle who is tall is the head of the Anglican Church of Uganda. Is a man, and he did something that day that he testified that as the head of Anglican, he has never done it. He anointed and he delivered and he prayed for over 500 girls.
Really?
Did oil anointing. And it's something that he said he never did it in his life. But when he came to Pade, the night before he came, God asked him to do that. So he had to carry his anointing oil, and he came and did it like for 4 hours. He was just praying, and
Every individual girl.
Every individual girl was healed, and every individual girl was prayed for. And that was day one that he arrived. He was there with us for 3 days, and then on the third day he did the dedication prayers, and we just felt the peace and the love and the healing of God.
What a blessing.
Yeah, it was such a blessing for us.
Next picture. Ah.
Wow. So these are young mothers who are struggling to take care of their children, and they don't know what to do. And we want to thank our Canadian partners for their generous support.
Now, Canadians sent the diapers and the pattern.
They
Is that
sent
right?
the diaper and all those, but now what is happening, the girls are making their own diaper out of that. So they're able to make something from the materials that was contributed and sent down to us from Canada.
So this is life skills. This is practical help for those babies.
Yes.
And is it the Velcro diaper? So they wash these and then they Velcro.
It is a washable diaper.
Yeah.
You can, so which means you can use it.
Yeah. And reuse it.
And reuse it and reuse it. And it has got this compact with a soft part of it and a plastic that can help the baby to be comfortable. The hair, it has got hair.
Brilliant design.
Yeah.
All right. Ooh, next picture.
Okay, this is one of the beneficiaries, the girls in the school, and she participates in a lot of things. She's one of them who already engaged in making the diaper. They make the beads, they make the African bags, and out of that we give them out as pocket money to meet the needs of their children, to buy little mandazis.
These life skills are so important. Helps them to be self-sustaining.
Yes.
And I understand these very lovely grad dresses have a Canadian connection as well.
This was sent in 2011, early this year, and it is a wonderful fabrics, and I want to thank the organization that donated it. The girls made it themselves. It's their graduation wear, and they love it, and I think that day they were the best in Pade. Everybody said it. They were the star in the district.
They look lovely. Yeah. Did each girl make her own dress?
No, we have a team who are making in that. But they are the team from the school who made it.
Yeah. There's always something new coming from this ministry. Tell us about the rocket stoves.
The rocket stove is I'm so amazed, is a local initiatives improved that help the women to cook within a very short period of time and use very little energy, firewood. It is just made out of soil from anthill or the soil near the water point, because it is very fine and very clear, and you mix it with the grass, and the women make it themselves. It is very efficient.
So it's energy saving.
And it's quick, and it is no smoke, so the smoke gets out of the house and goes out. Remember, in Africa, we have one hut that we have everybody sharing, and at night it's used for accommodation. It is a culture, and it's very good, kind of protective for young children so that they're not left alone. So this kind of the energy stove is very helpful because it keeps the house warm at night. It keeps the heat really contained. So at night it's very warm for the kid.
So energy saving, less risk of secondhand smoke from the fire, yes. And less, we've seen terrible burns on children and adults from open fires. So they're safer.
They're very safe, and it contains the heat. So at night, the house is very warm for the children.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Wish we had a picture of that, but next trip.
Yeah.
Next trip. The TAP program, we just have a couple of minutes, Alice, but you know, food security is absolutely vital. And I understand your youth agricultural program, YAP, is a good thing getting better.
The YAP project, that is Youth Agricultural Project, it is one of the most interesting projects because it is start right from the academy, from the girls. The girls should get to know that food security is very important. One thing that I want to tell you that because of food security in many households in Africa, most girls are denied access to education because parents would value food to be the most important thing for their children. So when we have...
sometimes they will even sell their child.
Yeah, even then they sell their children.
To survive.
Because they have to marry girls at a very early age when there's poverty in the house. But now what we are telling the girls in the academy that you have to grow in a lifestyle knowing that food security at the household is very important.
So it's an essential life skill.
It's the central life skills for the girls right from the school. So this is the greatest opportunity we have. And we started...
Young farmers.
Young farmers.
Every one of them.
Yes. And what we start is they all have their own small piece of farm in the school. So you grow your own small farm, the school buys from you. So we are adding values in food security and also as a source of income for them that you can have food in the house but also be able to have income. But the most important thing also at the community, you know, we have this generation of the youth that their life has been destroyed because of war and they have never had the opportunity to go to school. But we're telling them, wait, it's not all about education. You can get your life into agriculture. So we have the young people in the community that we are using their energy to support the elderly women, the grandmothers, the grandparents who don't have the capacity, but they have the responsibility to take care of the children. So what we have is we pair the young people with the home of grandparents. So they do kind of agriculture to support the households at the grandparents' household, which is very important and very interesting project to me.
Picture.
Because it's a cross-generation, helping the older people secure the household food security, but also helping the young people to engage and exercise the agricultural skills.
Just honoring one another in such a beautiful way, strengthening the community.
Yeah.
Nobody's left out.
Yes.
Everybody is blessed.
Yes.
Alice, you are a Wonder Woman. We love you.
Thank you.
And just so thankful that God led. And that's a story. God so clearly led this ministry to you. Somebody said, you got to go see what this woman's doing. And I just want to add our thanks again to you, our viewers, for embracing the vision. And I hope you're rejoicing in your heart to see the difference that is being made. And Alice, you keep coming back, but take the time you need. Well, let's be praying for Alice for real refreshment during this time. It's a big responsibility, and God's protection on you and the work of God there in Uganda. Thanks for visiting.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for having me always on the show. And I want to thank our Canadian support and the Crossroads, you know, for working with the vision and seeing the vision grow to reach the needy and support the work of God in northern Uganda. Thank you, and God bless you all.